It's time for Northwestern Outdoors Radio, the award-winning show that covers fishing, hunting, and all sorts of outdoor recreation here in the Great Northwest. Northwestern Outdoors is brought to you every week by Max Lure Company, a legacy of innovation since 1969, by Loophole Optics, America's optical authority, by Camp Chef, the way to cook outdoors,
by Wallowa County.
Nature is on display in Northeast Oregon, and by The Real News, your fishing resource. Also by Shiloh Inns and Suites, providing you with affordable excellence. And by Mardon Resort, the place for fishing, hunting, and more in Eastern Washington. And now, it's time to head outside with your host, John Cruz.
Spring is in the air for many of us here in the Northwest, though those of you in Montana did get a shot of winter not too long ago, and I'm sorry about that. But for the rest of us, we've had a lot of mild temperatures. It's been a really mild winter, and that means it's time to think about trout fishing in some of those lakes out there. Trout fishing opened up on several lakes in eastern Washington, to include the Quincy Lakes and the Tucannon Lakes. Oregon and Idaho are also stocking lakes for trout, and this is a great time to break out those trout rods and hit the water. Whether you catch them tossing spoons, trolling wedding ring spinners, casting flies, or just soaking power bait, it's a lot of fun. Now, you may have noticed, we didn't mention Montana, but that doesn't mean we forgot it. Nope, we are going to be spending a considerable amount of time during this broadcast talking to Arnie Gidlow. He is the owner of Missouri River Outfitters near Craig. If you're looking for a world-class fly fishing experience, you're going to find it on this stretch of the river with Arnie and his guides, and the fishing kicks off in earnest here on the Missouri in mid-April. We've got fishing on the coast too. This is the time of year when fishing for rockfish and lingcod really gets good, and our good friend Milt Gudgell, who owns Pacific Salmon Charters out of Ilwaco at the mouth of the Columbia River, is going to tell you all about this springtime opportunity. We've also got some other reports about how the fishing has been from all four northwestern states, but there's more than fishing to talk about during the next hour. We're going to also be talking to Nathan Brents. He's the co-owner of Nimrod Packs, about the great packs and accessories they've got for all of you big game hunters out there. Want more? How about an ESPN-style interview with two college athletes? No, these are not football or basketball stars. They're bass anglers. Ryan Sparks fishes on the Oregon State University team, and Jerrod Walker fishes for my alma mater, Eastern Washington University. They're going to be telling you about tournament bass fishing as a college sport and about the national championship tournament these two are getting ready to compete in. Finally, we'll be telling you about some great upcoming events, to include one taking place next month in Western Oregon called Fishing for a Cure, that's raising money to fight Parkinson's disease. But before we go any further into our show, featuring audio from the Pacific Northwest Sportsman Show in Portland, David Sparks has got another edition of Sportsman Spotlight for you. It turns out David has been to some sportsman shows himself, and he has found a doozy of a destination for anglers and moose hunters in Saskatchewan at a place called Reindeer Lake.
A trip to an outdoor paradise in Saskatchewan. David Sparks with Sportsman Spotlight. The owner says that Reindeer Lake Trout Camp is a Canadian fishing and hunting lodge nestled in a quiet bay 15 miles north of the end of the road in the true wilderness of northeastern Saskatchewan. It's located 150 miles north of Lorong, Saskatchewan, and has some of the best fishing in all of Canada for northern pike, lake trout, walleye, and grayling. Here you get the quiet solitude of the backcountry for your unparalleled fishing and hunting experience. Private lodging, home-cooked meals, native guides, main lodge available around the clock. Accommodations include natural log cabins equipped with modern amenities like a full bath, propane heat, electricity, and refrigerators. And they deliver to your door each morning a fresh cup of coffee along with your wake-up call. And it's not just fishing. Bear hunts and moose hunts are also available. Owner, Mike Salzman.
Our fish are big. All of our fishing trips, hunting trips are guided, and the fish are big fish. We pay our guides extra for our clients to catch big fish, and they are pretty aggressive about making sure that you catch big fish.
Getting on to the bear hunting.
40% of the bears that we harvest every year are color phase bears, and our bears average 350 to 400. Last year had 3 bears that were over 7 foot. We have the Canadian moose in our area.
Website, reindeerlake.net. Pendleton, Oregon wheat farmer Paul Brocker was at a crossroads.
We were transitioning from old equipment that was worth very little, trying to upgrade it into newer combines. Suddenly figured out that we could not hardly afford to upgrade combines. So this option came out of renting, and the company we got matched up with was Machinery Link, and we've been renting ever since. Been customers since 2001. You set a specified start date. The machine shows up. Our contract is a 30-day contract. After the 30 days is over, or when you're done with harvest, the combine goes away. You specify a delivery date. For our operation, they have not missed those delivery dates. We don't have repair bills. We don't recognize the actual cash depreciation expense, which is a huge deal. We actually purchased a combine for 1 year, and we went back the next year. Worked out great for us.
Call 844-CROP-USA for a limited-time offer that can save you up to $3,200 on your 2015 combine rental, or visit machinerylink.com. This is David Sparks for Sportsman Spotlight.
The road is calling you to experience one of Oregon's 7 wonders, the Wallowas. So grab your family and spend some time exploring Northeast Oregon's Wallowa County. Visit the state park at the head of glacier-carved Wallowa Lake. Travel the Hells Canyon Scenic Byway. Feel the pioneer spirit, Nez Perce history, and see our Western arts and bronzes. Ascend to the top of Mount Howard on the tram, and you'll see why Wallowa County is one of Oregon's most scenic and adventurous vacation wonders. This summer, take the road that leads to wonders. It begins at WallowaCountyChamber.com.
Pheasants Forever is working hard every day to ensure there's more wildlife habitat for the future. To join us, go to pheasantsforever.org.
I'm gonna take you fishing, honey. You're gonna love it. Gonna get up before the sun.
You're back on Northwestern Outdoors Radio. I'm John Cruz. We're broadcasting from the Pacific Northwest Sportsman Show in Portland, Oregon. And you would expect that we'd be talking about guides and outfitters in Washington and Oregon. Well, guess what? There's guides and outfitters that come from a lot further than that. One of them is Arnie Gidlow. He's the owner and operator of Missouri Riverside Outfitters and Lodge, located, well, over in Craig, Montana. Welcome to the show, Arnie.
Thank you very much, John. Pleasure to be here.
Arnie, why don't you go ahead and break down for our listeners exactly what you offer?
Well, we have a fishing lodge on the upper Missouri River. We have a beautiful 20-acre site, and we offer guided fishing trips. We have all-inclusive American plans. We have individual lodging prices. So we can really customize whatever trip that anybody wants to create over in the upper Missouri River area.
You're basically not a day trip so much. I guess you could be a day trip if people are staying in Helena or Great Falls, but you also position yourself as a destination resort, for lack of a better word, or a destination vacation.
That's correct, John. Yes, we'll go ahead and customize everything from a half day to a week-long stay. We have guests that sometimes allow us to stay for 2 weeks, so we're very flexible, and that way we can accommodate people to their desires.
So, Arnie, the Missouri River, a lot of people are not familiar with it. Think of this as a really big river, a big, in some cases, really muddy river that doesn't seem to go well with fly fishing, but in your stretch, that's not true, is it?
No, it's not. We have 3 large reservoirs above us, John, and these reservoirs moderate the flows. It creates absolutely crystal clear water and a water chemistry that produces a lot of insects. So it's a very, very productive fishery, and it's just the opposite of what most people think of in the Missouri. When they see the word Missouri, they often think of huckleberry fin, catfish, lazy days, slow water. It's in beautiful trout country. The Missouri actually starts in southwestern Montana at the headwaters of the Yellowstone Park area, and all in that general area of southwestern Montana. So it's in trout country where you're actually fishing the upper Missouri River in Montana.
And folks, if you haven't been to west central Montana before, it's some absolutely gorgeous country. You're going to love spending time here. You're going to love fishing here. But let's talk about the seasons of fishing here. You know, when does it start, and what are the basic techniques you use as the season progresses?
Yeah, John, during the early season, let's say from early March till the 3rd week of April, most of the rainbows, which are our predominant species in the river, are outside of the river system and spawning in the side stream. And all these small side streams are closed. So really the season begins about the 3rd week of April, which is kind of coincides with the blueing olive hatch that we have on the Missouri River. And then the Missouri River goes through all the typical hatches that a spring creek would have. We have bluing olives, we have the March browns, we have the midges. And then we start getting into our summer hatches, which would be the caddis and the pale morning dun, the tricos, the calabatus. So it's really like a big giant spring creek. With the 3 large reservoirs above us, it creates an environment that's like a huge spring creek. And you're right, it is a large river, but really if you just compartmentalize it, it fishes like a small stream. You don't try to fish the whole river, you just fish certain areas of it.
And that's not an easy lesson to learn. I've had to learn that on rivers like the Deschutes, where I'm used to fishing a small stream, and you just, like you said, you break it down. And once you do that, it's not so hard. But you have the added benefit of having a guide with you as well.
Absolutely. That's critical. I think to really understand the Missouri River, to get a guide for a day or two, and I'm not just saying that because of my own self-interest, it really breaks down a lot of the mysteries. It's an intimidating river. It runs 4,500 to 4,800 cubic feet per second. It's 160 to 180 yards in width, and there's 62 miles of good river to fish. So to learn it on your own could take months. A guide will go ahead and show you how to read the water, show you where to fish, and help you understand how to fish the river.
When you're doing a guided trip, are we talking walk and wade trips, or are we talking drift boat trips, or could it be both?
Well, we take drift boats on our trips. Even if anglers want to go ahead and do a lot of wading, that gives us access to spots that you cannot normally walk to. So, yeah, we try to accommodate the styles and desires of our anglers. We can do all-day float and not get out of the drift boat if you're an elderly angler, or we can do a combination or just use the boat for transportation. It's a very, very flexible river. There's a lot of different ways to fish it. And really, if you take the upper Missouri River that we fish, there are 3 distinct sections, what we call the upper river, the canyon section, and the lower river. And they all have different qualities. So with 62 miles of river and 11 different access sites, there's a lot of different combinations, a lot of different types of fishing you can do.
You're listening to Northwestern Outdoors Radio. We're talking to Arnie Gidlow. He's the owner of Missouri Riverside Outfitters and Lodge, located in Craig, Montana. And we've been talking about fishing the Missouri River, and we've been talking about guided fishing on the Missouri River. Something else I need to ask. Experience levels. Can you be a person that's actually a novice or have very limited fly fishing experience and enjoy a trip with you?
Yes. In fact, I think that's sometimes the preferable pattern, because then we don't have 40 years of bad habits to correct. So that shouldn't deter anybody. We have anglers of all abilities fish the river. Yes, you're going to have a little bit more problems when there's delicate dry fly situations, but there's a lot of parts of the river that fish very well with nymphs, and we can get novice anglers into fish that way. And, you know, when you've got a river with 7,000 to 8,000 fish per mile, it's a great place to learn how to fly fish, because you're going to get opportunities.
Rainbows are the predominant fish. What's the average size?
The average size is about 15, 16 inches on the river. It's like a cookie cutter. And the rainbows don't get up much to about 18, 19 inches. They're early rainbows, so they grow very fast, but they're short-lived. Our brown trout are our large fish. They'll get up to 24, 25 inches. Everything over 20 inches is a really good fish, 18 inches or above.
I've always had a heart for brown trout. I just think they're a great fish, a great fighting fish. Are you going to probably get into some brown trout on any given day?
It depends a lot on the conditions, John, and the time of year. Obviously, early in the year and later in the year, when the water temperatures are cooler and there's more overcast, brown trout don't feed in bright sunny conditions. So they like low light conditions. And of course, in the fall, they'll be spawning, so they'll be a little bit more aggressive and active. It seems like some days they're on the feed and you catch 30-40% of your fish are brown trout. Other days you don't see any of them, and they're all rainbows. So they're interesting fish because they're challenging.
The Missouri is obviously the main river you're fishing, and that's where your lodge is located. Are there other rivers that you're fishing as well in this area?
Yeah, John, we fish the Sun and Dearborn rivers, which are nearby. The Dearborn comes in about 1.5 miles above the lodge. It's a nice freestone river, moderate size, and very easy to wade. Very, very pretty scenery. In fact, I think it's some of the best scenery you have in Montana. And the Sun River, we fish over close to the edge of the Bob Marshall Wilderness area, outside the Forest Service area. And it's got some interesting fishing, too. It's a little difficult to wade, a little bit larger.
All right, so you've broken down some of the rivers where we can fish. So we better talk about the lodging, because it looks like a beautiful lodge that you have.
Yeah, it's on a virgin piece of property, John, and it is about 5,000 square feet. It has 6 guest rooms with all their own private baths, full-size beds in each, very beautiful oak furnishings, and it's very, very comfortable. In the back of the lodge, where we like to go in and share fishing lies and have some great food, and then a big patio where we watch the deer and the elk, and I have 15 head of bighorn sheep on the lodge property, so that's really a rare opportunity to see that so close to a lodge.
Oh, it sounds absolutely fantastic. And just to clarify, is the lodge on the water basically, or is let me rephrase that. Is your property bordering the water? Can somebody actually be in the lodge and actually go down and fish the bank in the evening?
It's about a 5-minute walk down to the river, so we're not actually on the river, John. The river winds right around us, and there's a highway between us and the river, but like I say, it's less than a 5-minute walk to the edge of the property to get down to the stream. So if you want to do a little evening fishing or just sit by the river and watch the water go by and mellowed out by the sound of a Montana river, you can do that too.
Sounds like a great Montana vacation to me. One last thing, the food. You mentioned you feed your guests. What are you feeding them? What's some typical fare?
Oh, we have all kinds of fares. We have 7 or 8 different entrees. We change it every year. We have full breakfasts. We have delightful lunches on the river. And the entrees are carefully prepared to be interesting, to be healthy. We don't fry food. We do a lot of barbecuing, and you'll not be disappointed. In fact, most of the time our anglers have to go open a couple of notches in their belts when they go home.
Well, folks, I don't know about you, but this sounds like the trip of a lifetime in terms of a Montana fly fishing trip to me. If you want to find out more, let's go ahead and give out a website and phone number, Arnie.
Yes, it's MissouriRiverside.com. Phone number is 406-468-9385.
All right, folks, that phone number again, 406-468-9385 for Missouri Riverside Outfitters and Lodge, offering either your choice of day guided trips or extended vacations at the lodge with guided fishing to boot. The phone number again, 406-468-9385, and the website is MissouriRiverside.com. That's MissouriRiverside.com for Missouri Riverside Outfitters and Lodge, located in west central Montana, and a place where it sounds like your fly fishing dreams could come true sooner than later. Arnie, thanks for telling us all about it on Northwestern Outdoors Radio.
Thank you, John.
Rise above us, got a bamboo pole and a leaky boat. It ain't much, but if you bail, it'll float. I'm gonna take you fishing, honey. You're gonna love it.
The Bighorn Outdoor Adventure Show is celebrating 55 years of making life better outside. Life is an adventure, and it's better outdoors. It's fun for the whole family at the Spokane Fair and Expo Center, March 19th through the 22nd. Live reptile shows from the Reptile Man all 4 days. See, touch, and learn all about reptiles. Climb on the WGU Washington's climbing wall. Drop a line in Les Schwab's Fishing World, and so much more. Visit BighornShow.com for more information.
Good hunters know before you take that shot, you've got to see the whole picture. Now, the best way to do that is with a spotting scope, binoculars, or a rifle scope, but it's got to be from Leupold. Now, Leupold is a Northwest company with a reputation that stretches across the world for making superior optics. Look for Leupold Optics at your local Cabela store, Dick's Sporting Goods, or online at Leupold.com. Leupold, America's optical authority.
We're back with John Cruz on Northwestern Outdoors Radio.
Time for another Max Minute.
Fish on!
Brought to you every week by Max Lure Company. With us today, Max Pro Staffer and well-known rod builder, Brian Timm out of Portland, Oregon. Brian, welcome back to the show.
It's nice to be here. Thank you.
Brian, you have been catching Chinook salmon and steelhead with something very different, a flashlight blade. Exactly what is this product from Max Lure Company?
It is a long, narrow blade that originally Max put on their kokanee trolls, and we just take and put the blade in place of a spinner blade with beads or floats and a coon shrimp behind it, and the steelhead and the salmon, absolutely, you can't miss.
So this flashlight blade, folks, it's like if you're familiar with the Smile blade, which is a Mylar blade, it's pretty much the same principle, but it's much bigger, much longer. So it gives out a lot of flash without any real drag. Why do you think it works better than a regular Dodger?
Well, we control a lot slower than anybody else, and it'll still spin. When everybody else has got to have more speed on to get a regular spinner blade to turn, this one will turn at way slower speeds, and I think that's what helps us.
Are you fishing this in the Willamette and the Columbia rivers?
We've mainly used it so far. Well, I have used it in the Willamette, but mainly in the Columbia, and in the upper Columbia and down here below Bonneville.
So there you go, folks. This is a new tool for you to use if you're after salmon or steelhead, especially when you have to go slow. Consider the flashlight blade from Max Lure Company. It's worked for Brian Timm. It's going to work for you, too. And that wraps up another Max Minute, brought to you every week by Max Lure Company. Find out more at maxlure.com.
I'm Bob Loomis, and I fish for walleye. Sometimes when I'm out on the water, I feel like a destroyer captain hunting for targets with my electronics. I'm not hunting submarines, though. I'm hunting fish, and when I find that big one on the fish finder, I want to make sure she's going to bite. That's where the Smile Blade Slow Death Rig from Max Lure comes in. The Smile Blade spins and flashes at ultra-slow speeds, and the one-of-a-kind red hook keeps that bait moving in a way the fish can't resist. It's the Smile Blade Slow Death Rig. You're the destroyer. This is your depth charge. Only from Max Lure.
The road is calling you to experience one of Oregon's 7 wonders, the Wallowas. So grab your camping equipment and fishing gear and head out to Northeast Oregon, where you'll find the views are endless, the air crisp and clean, and the water's cold and clear. Set up camp by the shores of Wallowa Lake or in the heart of the Wallowa-Whitman National Forest. Take your fishing gear and cast your bait into the deep waters of Wallowa Lake, or roll your fly into one of the eddies of the many freestone creeks and rivers teeming with fish. This summer, take the road that leads to wonders. It begins at WallowaCountyChamber.com.
Hey, honey, come here. Check out these new Leupold binoculars.
They're not only great to see birds with and animals with, but check out the stars. Hey, and since there's a full moon tonight, I thought it'd be a perfect time to break them in. Here, take a look.
Wow, I can't believe it. You can actually see the craters on the moon.
Oh, but it gets better than that. See that gray area up there right to the right? That's the Sea of Tranquility. That's where the astronauts landed on the moon and planted the American flag.
This is so cool.
Now, if you look close, you can still see that flag.
Stop telling her stories.
Don't worry, Dad. I saw it. It was right next to the lunar rover.
Leupold binoculars, optical quality that's out of this world. Find them at a sporting goods store near you or at leupold.com.
You're back with Northwestern Outdoors Radio. We're broadcasting from the Pacific Northwest Sportsman Show in Portland. There's a lot of great things here, and one of the great things you can find at Sportsman Show is gear. And if you're a hunter, you're going to want some really good gear, primarily for big game hunting. One company that can help you out with that is the Nimrod Outdoor Company. We're talking to one of the two owners, Nathan Brents. He owns the company with his wife, Tanya. They live in Olympia, Washington. Nathan, welcome to the show.
Hi, John. How are you today?
Doing fantastic. Nimrod has been around for a while. I've seen you on the show circuit for years. You're known as producing some very high-quality packs and other accessories for hunters. Tell us a little bit about your company.
Okay, Nimrod Pack System started out in Kashmir, Washington about 23 years ago. I've been building high-quality packs and offering a limited lifetime warranty on very high-quality and outdoor gear for the last 23 years. Recently, Doug and Stacy were looking for some transition, and we've been on their pro staff for the last 8 years, and we came to an agreement and purchased the company and wanted to continue on with that high quality and service that they've been offering for the past 20 plus years.
You know, one thing that immediately stands out on your product line, whether it's your packs or your scabbards or the cases you have, is the lining. It's a fleece lining. Why is that?
We chose a Polar Tech fleece because of its quietness and its durability. As an archery hunter and an avid outdoorsman, I too get to use this product outdoors and again was on their pro staff for many years and able to field test the product. The quiet durability of the product and the weatherproofing has lasted the test of time, and it just it sets us apart from what other competitors use.
You've got a lot of gear here, but I'm sure that some of it is much more popular than others. You know, what's maybe your best-selling item that you have here?
Well, John, we cater to a lot of daytime hunters, people who are looking for a good quality day pack. Our Pinnacle pack is probably the flagship of the product line. It's a low-riding lumbar pack with shoulder support, about 1,300 cubic inches. It allows you to put some accessories along the base belt and those types of things. But that's probably our flagship, and from there you can build into much more customizable type products, and it's been a real great product for us.
Well, tell me about this haul frame pack. It looks like this is built basically to haul out that animal you've just shot.
Absolutely. We have that haul frame rated at 150 pounds. It's very durable. Again, I have not had any opportunities to destroy one of these rascals. They always hold every load and every bit of weight that we put on them.
So in terms of accessories, you've got all sorts of stuff here. Why don't you run through some of the items that people are commonly putting on your packs?
Okay, John, and again, we have the ability to really customize a pack to meet somebody's needs. You're not just having to adhere to something that's sewn onto your bag. We have rangefinder cases, GPS cases, assortment of pistol holsters. We have rifle scabbards for hands-free travel. We have options for carrying your bow, again, for hands-free travel. So it gives you the chance to customize, to mix and match, to assemble a bag that is going to meet your needs and a system that's going to work for you, and you don't just have to settle with the product that's sewn on there.
That's a great concept. Again, folks, high-quality gear, polar fleece outer shell, and it's customized for whatever type of hunting you want to do. Where can people find products from the Nimrod Outdoor Company?
Well, again, John, we're up in Olympia. We do have a showroom. We ask that people call in advance if they want to come by and view some product, but predominantly online and at the trade shows, nimrodoutdoor.com, and then the local trade shows here in the Northwest. Again, we're made here in America. All of our products are sewn right here in Western Washington, and we offer a limited lifetime warranty. We want to stand behind the high quality of our product.
Again, that's nimrodoutdoor.com, nimrodoutdoor.com. If you're a hunter and you're looking for a high-quality, customized pack, this is probably a great place to start. Nathan, thanks for telling us all about it on Northwestern Outdoors Radio.
Thanks for your time, John. Appreciate it.
Next on Northwestern Outdoors Radio, we're transitioning from hunting gear, to fishing. That's right. It's time for bottom fishing along the Northwest coastline, and Milt Gudgell is here to tell us more about it again from the Pacific Northwest Sportsman Show in Portland. For our next field report, we've caught up with Milt Gudgell. He owns Pacific Salmon Charters out of Ilwaco, and I understand come March 15th, it's time to go after some bottom fish at the mouth of the Columbia.
Correct. It's really going to be good. It's an awesome fishery that's enjoyable by young and old. It's really great for the little kids, too.
What kind of bottom fish are we talking about here?
Well, the early season here, March, April, May, we try and target lingcod. Specifically target those fish, and also you come along and you get limits of rockfish with them, mainly black bass in that case.
Are you basically using jigs, or what are you using to get these fish into the boat?
Well, for lingcod, we like to use bait. There's nothing better than bait. Bait will outfish any of the artificial gear, so we use bait on our bottom line, and we use an artificial up the line little ways, and that catches the rockfish.
Interesting. So I'm guessing that there are times when you actually have two fish on the line, maybe a lingcod on the bottom and a rockfish up top?
Sometimes we have two lingcod plus a rockfish. Lingcod are very aggressive fish, and they will come by. Now, you folks don't believe this, but I've had as many as 4 lingcod and 1 rockfish on one hook.
Oh, my gosh. So I'm guessing, at least my experience is, with the black bass, that they're running about, 2-3 pounds on average?
The bass that we catch early, yes, that's true. The ones that we catch later in the season, July, August, will run as high as 7 pounds apiece. And lots of them. No small fish, all big fish. But we're fishing different waters and a different depth.
And the lingcod, those get a lot bigger.
Lingcod a lot bigger. The average lingcod is going to be about 10 pounds. Yes, we catch 30-pounders, but those are not normal. You know, you don't get 2 or 3 of those every day. You might get 1 or 2 a day that's that size, but the average will be about 10 pounds.
One other thing about your trips, they're pretty affordable. How much does it cost to go out on one of these combo lingcod rockfish trips?
The rockfish combo trip with lingcod, there is $130 plus tax per person. We furnish all the bait, tackle. You need to dress warm and bring a lunch and something to drink, refreshments for the day, and have fun.
There you go, folks. It's going to be going on March, April, May. Well, actually, it's going to be going on a lot longer than that, but you can get in on it right now, starting March 15th. Is that right?
Correct, John. You bet.
Okay, go ahead and find out more by going to PacificSalmonCharters.com. That's PacificSalmonCharters.com. They're located in Ilwaco. They got a phone number, too, 1-800-831-2695, 1-800-831-2695, or PacificSalmonCharters.com. Milt, always a pleasure.
Thank you, John. Good to see you.
I'd like to tell you I just brought down that buck, but I didn't. I missed. And you know why I missed? Because of the scope I've got on my rifle. You see, my friends told me to get a Leupold rifle scope. Why? Well, because Leupold is America's optical authority. They make a huge variety of quality scopes for every need, and they make them right here in the Northwest. Unfortunately, I didn't listen. I used the cheap scope that came with this rifle when I bought it. And when it came time to pull the trigger, well, let's just say things were a little blurry. Now, I've got nothing to look forward to except a long, empty-handed walk back home. Next time I come out into the field, there's going to be a Leupold scope on my rifle. And next time, I'm not going to miss.
Leupold rifle scopes. Check out the whole line at leupold.com and look for them at a sporting goods store near you.
Shiloh Inn's affordable excellence. The more you stay, the more you save. Hello, I'm Mark Hemstreet, owner of Shiloh Inns. As a Shiloh Inn Star Rewards member, you get free room upgrades, a personal agent to help book your stay, points that can be used for free nights at any one of our beautiful hotels or for free airline tickets and much more. And there are no blackout dates for any reward stay. Make 4-star accommodations at 2-star prices even better with deluxe smoke-free suites, spacious pools and spas, and fully equipped fitness centers. There's free high-speed internet and a free continental breakfast or delicious full hot breakfast at most Shiloh Inns. Even the kids stay free. And smoke-free Shiloh Inns are all dog-friendly. For reservations, call 1-800-222-2244 or visit our website at shilohinns.com. Shiloh Inns, affordable excellence. American family-owned and proud of it.
Springtime is prime time to head to Mardon Resort to fish, hike, boat, and see wildlife. Park your RV, pitch a tent, or rent a wonderful park cottage at Central Washington's Potholes Reservoir and go play outside. Log on to MardonResort.com. That's MardonResort.com to book your next getaway where the fish bite, but we don't.
Back with Northwestern Outdoors Radio, and it's time again for news and reports from the field brought to you every week by Mardon Resort at Eastern Washington's Potholes Reservoir. Fishing has been good at several of the Seep Lakes just south of Potholes. All of the Seep Lakes are open except the Warden Lakes and the lakes on the Columbia National Wildlife Refuge, which open in April. Now, Blythe Lake has had very little pressure, but rainbow trout are being reported up to 20 inches long. Both Lower and Upper Goose Lake are good boat fishing options for trout, as well as bass, crappie, and walleye. Lower Goose Lake has been giving up trout over by the boat launch right off the bank, and there's a healthy population of channel catfish, too. Don't forget Corral Lake either. That's always a good bet for trout in the early season. Find out more and get stocked up at the store at Mardon Resort. You can book a stay there as well and fish the Seep Lakes and Potholes Reservoir for a weekend or for several days. Go to MardonResort.com for details. That's MardonResort.com, where the fish bite, but we don't. In other field reports, Gary Crine with All-Star Charters out of Seattle and Everett reports winter kings are biting in Area 9, especially at Possession Bar and Double Bluff. Try fishing a Gold Star Kingfisher Light or Coho Killer spoons behind glow flashers close to the bottom in 115 to 120 feet of water. If you don't have a boat and want to get in on the action, well, contact Gary at All-Star Charters. Just go to their website at allstarfishing.com. In Southwest Oregon, the Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife reports anglers are catching rockfish and lingcod along the jetties and submerged jetties in Coos Bay. Also along the coast, anglers are already catching largemouth bass and yellow perch in 10-mile lakes due to the really mild winter we've had. There's also reports from the Rogue River around Grants Pass indicating fishing has been very good for a mix of wild and hatchery steelhead. Speaking of steelhead, in Idaho, it's been very good through February on the Clearwater River between the mouth at Lewiston and Orofino. Guide Nate Luther sent me a picture of 6 happy anglers, each one holding a couple of very nice steelhead apiece that were caught there the last week from his very noticeable fishing boat painted with Seattle Seahawks logos on it. Another place to catch steelhead in Idaho is the Salmon River from the Middle Fork to the North Fork, where 166 anglers were checked with 106 fish by Idaho Fish and Game. Speaking of creel surveys, Montana Fish, Wildlife, and Parks will be doing them on Montana's most popular fishing river, the Missouri, starting this March. If you are fishing between Holter Dam and the town of Cascade, don't be surprised if someone comes up and asks you some questions about catch rates and your opinion about the river's fisheries management. This will be the first survey of this sort done since 2002, and it will help fisheries managers get a better handle on angler usage and the opinions they have about fishing this stretch of the Missouri. Next, let's head back to the Pacific Northwest Sportsman Show in Portland and find out about a new college sport I think you're going to enjoy. Next up on Northwestern Outdoors Radio, we've got a collegiate sports update for you, and it has to do with bass fishing. That's right. Bass fishing is a collegiate sport now. We've got some great Northwest teams that are competing not just at a regional level, but on a national level. In fact, we are talking today to 2 anglers that are going to be fishing in the FLW National Collegiate Championship in Lake Murray, South Carolina, coming up in April. One of them is Ryan Sparks, representing Oregon State University. The other one is veteran Jerrod Walker, representing Eastern Washington University. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Yeah, it's great to be here. So this is my first time at the Portland show, and I'm hanging out here at the Oregon State booth with Ryan Sparks and the guys. We've never been to the show being from Eastern Washington, but now that I've moved down here after graduating, I got a chance to come to the show, and it's great.
Now, Ryan, OSU basically had a great year this year in terms of bass fishing.
This year we did not place first in the tournament, but the year before that we won two. We won a tournament at Lake Roosevelt in Arizona, and then we won the Western Bass Fishing Regional for Bassmasters and broke the record. So that was kind of cool. But this last year we did pretty good. We qualified for nationals again. Actually, 2 qualifications for nationals this past year, so that's always a plus for us. And we sent 2 teams to the Lake Chatuge tournament for Bassmaster Nationals, and we're going to send 2 more teams to the national tournament at South Carolina, so it'll be good.
So, Jerrod, what happens if your partner's going to be Nick Barr from Eastern Washington University? What happens if your team wins the championship this year?
So this next deal, this national championship that we're going to, it's the 4 regions in the United States that represent college fishing, and they take basically the top 10 from each and put us in this tournament. What happens is the top team, so if me and Nick were to fish and win first in this tournament, we'd qualify for the Forrest Wood Cup, and that's a $500,000 tournament to first place, and that'd be in conjunction with all the guys that fish the Walmart Tour and some of the guys that qualify through the Federation and things like that. So it's a big deal, and it's basically the top teams from all college, and it's an honor, and we're excited to do it. So.
And Jerrod, you and Nick did very, very well last year fishing the same tournament, didn't you?
The one that we did really well in was the bass side, so this is the FLW, and this is mine and Nick's first time through the FLW side of it. We've always done really well in the FLW qualifiers. We took second on Clear Lake earlier this summer to qualify us for this tournament, but that tournament that you're talking about was last year on Lake Chatuge in Georgia, and that was a great lake. It's going to fish a lot like Lake Murray because it's a spotted bass blueback herring lake, and being from the west, we don't have any blueback herring in any of our lakes, so it makes it a different deal, but it's exciting, and the bass are a lot more aggressive feeding on blueback herring, so it's a fun deal.
So Ryan, Oregon State University, what do you think your chances are, and what strategy do you think you're going to be using to get fish in the boat?
We have a good strategy because we got Jay Aylis to help us out, and he's always got a lot of information for us over there. I know I've been lucky enough to fish 3 of the national tournaments for FLW so far, so I'm kind of going to build off that. We placed like 25th and 16th in the 2 that we've done, and we kind of always want to get back at it and get a little bit better, so I'm hoping to go there and fish a little bit, get some knowledge about the lake, and going to be a little bit of spawn fishing, maybe post-spawn, pre-spawn. So I don't know. I got some good tactics planned, I think.
And no, he's not going to share them on the air before we go, so I get that completely. Again, folks, we're talking to 2 athletes at the top of their game, but we're not talking football, we're not talking baseball, we're talking bass fishing. Gentlemen, I wish you both great success. Yes, Eastern is my alma mater. I might be rooting for Eastern, but I got to love the OSU Beavers, too. It'd be great to see a Northwest team pull off an upset this year. Good luck to both of you.
Yeah, thanks for letting us on the show. It's always a great time. And, I just want to give a shout-out to the guys here at Eastern. We got a tournament going down on Lake Havasu in conjunction with the Rayovacs right now, the FLW Rayovacs. And so I got two teams down there right now, and they're fishing as we speak, and I'm hoping that they do well. So it's the first time me and Nick are not currently active or alum now, and so we're really hoping to shoot for those guys, and I think they're going to do great. So we'll keep an eye out for Eastern Washington and things out of there, because there's continue to be a bass fishing team there. There's continue to be growth, and anytime you guys see those guys over at the Puyallup Shore, the Bighorn Outdoor Show there in Spokane, support those guys, and we love being involved in the community. It's just all a great deal altogether, so thanks.
Ryan, any parting words for the Beaver Nation?
Yeah, go Beavs, and I'd like to thank the Sportsman Show most of all for letting us have this opportunity to do this, and thank you guys for letting us on the air. I'd like to thank Western Fishing Operations for helping us out a lot, the whole school, and we have some people down at Havasu too. I'd like to wish them luck, Zach and Zach, so hopefully they're doing good out there today while we're here, but we'll see how that goes.
There you go, folks. College fishing, who would have thunk? Good luck, guys.
Looking for the ultimate cooking machine for your backyard or patio? Look no further than Camp Chef's new pellet grill and smoker. With user-friendly features like an auto ignition, digital readouts, and internal meat temperature sensors, it's easy to smoke the tastiest salmon, ribs, brisket, and turkey you'll ever eat. And an innovative system makes cleanup a snap. Everyone will want the food you're cooking on your Camp Chef pellet grill and smoker. The quality smoker that's second to none. Find out more at campchef.com. Camp Chef, the way to cook outdoors.
If you've ever been fishing in Mexico, you know how good it can be, and now you can fish there with The Real News. To find out more about fishing Mexico with The Real News, log on to therealnews.com or call 425-334-8966. Again, that's therealnews.com or 425-334-8966 for an incredible adventure.
We're back with one last cast from John Cruz on Northwestern Outdoors Radio.
It's time for upcoming events on Northwestern Outdoors Radio, and we've got a real special one to tell you about. It's the first annual Fishing for a Cure for Parkinson's. It's taking place Saturday, April 25th on the Clackamas River. With us here to tell us more about it is well-known taxidermist Rick Leach. Rick, what is this all about?
Fishing for a Cure is what the thing is all about, fighting Parkinson's disease. I've been dealing with Parkinson's for the last 10 years, and I'm familiar with all the difficulties involved in it, and it affects not only the person that has it, but the families and friends around them. We've got a dozen or more of the top guides in the Northwest, and the tournament is $200 a pole, and all of the proceeds will be going to Parkinson's.
So, Rick, obviously there's going to be all sorts of prizes given out during this, but what's going to be the big prize for the winner?
Well, I've worked for about 3 or 4 days on a spring Chinook salmon mount that's going to be the first prize for the biggest fish caught.
Okay, so that's the big prize for the biggest fish, folks, but there's going to be lots of other prizes as well for the most fish caught and different categories as well. Synergy Restoration and Construction, LLC, is definitely standing right behind this, and Diane Labont is somebody that's the face of Synergy that's helping out with this. And again, folks, it's $200, but this includes a guided day of fishing. It includes all your gears, your poles, and a banquet that follows. It's going to have a silent auction, some good food, and a lot of fun. Now, there's two things you need to make this a success, obviously. It sounds like you need some more guides, and if you have more guides, then you can have more people.
Correct.
So, if people want to go ahead and get in on this first annual Fishing for a Cure for Parkinson's, what's the best way for them to contact you as either a guide who wants to donate their time for a good cause, or as an individual who wants to participate?
They can contact me at my email, which is trophymounter@aol.com.
That's trophymounter@aol.com. Very fitting for a taxidermist. Trophymounter@aol.com. Again, it's the first annual Fishing for a Cure for Parkinson's. It's taking place Saturday, April 25th on the Clackamas River. It's going to be a lot of fun, and this is your chance to participate. The email, one more time, trophymounter@aol.com. Again, find out more by contacting Rick Leach, and participating in the first annual Fishing for a Cure for Parkinson's can be a great day of fishing and for a very good cause. We've got some other upcoming events to tell you about, too. The 9th Annual Everett Blackmouth Derby is taking place next Saturday, the 14th. Tickets are only $100 a boat and can be bought at sporting goods stores in the area. This one-day derby can win you up to $3,000 in cash, and since it's part of the Northwest Salmon Derby Series, you'll also have a chance to win a sweet boat that is fully outfitted as well. Find out more at everettblackmouthderby.com. Another thing to do in Western Washington is visit the new Bass Pro Shop store right off of I-5 in Tacoma. If you go next weekend, you can take part in their first annual Dog Days family event, where several seminars will be taking place, to include one on Friday the 13th at 6 p.m., where you can learn how to socialize and crate train that puppy of yours. On Saturday the 14th at 11 a.m., you can learn how to teach your pup to sit. And at 2 p.m., there's going to be a seminar about keeping your dog safe in the outdoors. It's not as easy as it looks sometimes. A local vet will be on hand to answer questions about your dog's health, too. Heading towards Montana and Idaho, the World Snowmobile Expo is taking place March 13th through the 15th at West Yellowstone. Check out the new 2016 snowmobiles at the Holiday Inn Conference Center. Go on free demo rides and watch the big snowcross races taking place through the weekend. You can find out more about this event at snowmobileexpo.com. Sportsman Show season continues. The Central Oregon Sportsman Show is going on right now through Sunday at the Deschutes County Fairground in Redmond. This is a good show not only for the local guides, outfitters, seminars, and attractions you'll find there, but also for the huge number of RVs they have on display and for sale here. If you're in the market for an RV, you want to go to this show. The Great Rocky Sports Show has its next stop at the Adams Center in Missoula on the 21st and 22nd of March. I'd love to be there, but I can't because I'm going to be at the Interstate Fairgrounds in Spokane from Thursday the 19th through Sunday the 22nd, along with a few hundred other exhibitors at the Bighorn Outdoor Adventure Show. This will be our last sportsman show of the season, and we will once again be giving away a camp camp stove from Camp Chef and a $100 gift certificate from Max Lure Company. So make it a point to drop by and say hello. We'd love to see you. If you get a chance, go to our Facebook page. It's Northwestern Outdoors Radio. Like us and follow us because we're always posting new information there. And frankly, a lot of it doesn't make it on the show because there's only so much we can fit into an hour-long broadcast. We've got a website too. It's northwesternoutdoors.com. If you go there, you'll find links to find out more about the guests we have on the show. And in case you missed part of last week's show, you can catch it there on our front page. Just press on where the radio is and you'll be tuning in. Speaking of tuning into our show on the internet, go to RenoViolaOutdoors.com. We are one of 30 shows that airs there 7 days a week. We are proud to be part of this outdoors radio station. It's RenoViolaOutdoors.com. Check it out. I think you're going to like it. That's all for this week. It's a great time to break out that trout rod or go for some early season hiking and shed hunting. So until next time, take care, God bless, and make it a point to spend some time outdoors.